Republican plan to repeal Obamacare, to repeal the Affordable Care Act in 2017, would have resulted in more than 20 million Americans losing their health insurance. Just like Senator Warren was saying earlier this hour, in 2017, with Republicans in fresh control of the White House and the House and the Senate, it absolutely seemed like a done deal that they would pass a law to take away health insurance from tens of millions of people. But then something started to happen. The constituents of these members of Congress and senators, they started showing up bigly to tell them to abandon that bill and that plan. People held die-ins on the ground outside congressional offices in their home districts. People held sit-ins in the lobbies of their senators' district offices. The group Indivisible and other grassroots organizers, they channeled all that fear and worry and human outrage about the Republican effort to take health care away, and they turned it into constructive action. And it worked. The Republican plan, which was absolutely a done deal, to scrap the Affordable Care Act, it died in the Senate without enough Republicans to support their own party's bill. That's the idea behind this kind of organizing. The trick is not to pressure Congress in some sort of macro sense, but for people to push their own senators and their own members of Congress individually. Find out who your member of Congress is and who your senators are. Put their office on your speed dial. Show up at their town halls. Force them to have town halls. Hold up signs outside their office windows. Be relentless. Pressure works. It worked in 2017 to help save the Affordable Care Act when nothing else in politics says that should have worked. And now with this next big fight underway, Indivisible is a group that is breaking out that same playbook once again. Joining us now is Ezra Levin. He's co-executive director of Indivisible. Ezra, it's nice to see you. Thanks for being here tonight. Great to be here tonight. So we've been talking tonight with a couple of Democratic senators and others about what tactics are available to the Democrats to try to stop Trump from putting a nominee on the court before the election. Those are Washington-centric questions. Should we see this as a Washington-centric fight, or is this one of those fights that's going to happen all over the country?
Yeah, the sad fact of the matter is that Mitch McConnell and the Republicans have the power to appoint a new justice, to confirm a new justice. They can indeed do that. But remember, as you just covered, they had the power back in 2017 to repeal the Affordable Care Act. The reason why they didn't do that was because people showed up, like you said, all throughout the country to tell their individual senators, represent me. That's what's got to happen right now. Look, there have been 200,000 deaths from COVID, and Mitch McConnell now, after doing nothing for months and months and months, can't move fast enough to entrench his power by appointing another justice. But the good news is Mitch McConnell is not master of the universe or even master of the Senate. In fact, he has to corral all of his compatriots in the Senate to actually vote with him. And if you can count to 4, you can figure out our legislative strategy. We need 4 Senate Republicans to vote for the rule of law, to actually vote to uphold the Constitution and protect the courts in the long term. And we got 2 already. We got Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski. We need 2 more. This is going to be a hard fight, but it's not an impossible fight, and that's why we're in it.
And talk to me, Ezra, about your tactical strategy. Obviously, one of the key insights that you and your colleagues at Indivisible brought to bear on the fights of the early Trump presidency was this idea that even if you have a Democratic senator, or even if you've got a relatively progressive or moderate member, if you want to stop the conservative program in the Congress, you have to target your own member. You have to target the person who sees you as a constituent to not just vote the right way, but to hold the line, to create the sort of wall that's going to be needed to stop the conservatives doing what they want. Is it the same approach here, or do you want, everybody in the country to call Joni Ernst or to call Cory Gardner or to call one of these other senators who could potentially be the decisive vote here?
Yeah, it's a great point, Rachel. So unless you live in Iowa, you shouldn't call Joni Ernst. Unless you live in Kentucky, you shouldn't call Mitch McConnell. And that's because Mitch McConnell and Joni Ernst don't care what you think unless you live in their states. And that's not even a knock on Mitch McConnell and Joni Ernst, as much as I'm not a big fan of theirs. It's just the fact that we live in a representative democracy. And that means your representation in Congress are your 2 senators, your 1 representative. So it is really important to use your power, your constituent power, to focus on your own representatives. And so if you're looking for what to do, if you're focusing on this and you're worried for the future of our republic, I am too. There is actually power you have in this moment. Specifically, indivisible groups are doing two things in the next week. One, this Friday, we know that Ruth Bader Ginsburg is lying in state at the U.S. Capitol. We're not advising people make the trip out to the U.S. Capitol to go to that event. We are asking folks, and indivisible groups are bringing flowers or mementos to their Senate offices in their own states and saying, hey, this is what Ruth Bader Ginsburg means to me. I would like you to represent me, fight in the Senate for me, not Mitch McConnell or Donald Trump. And second, after you do that on Friday, after you show up in person at your own congressional district office, on Saturday, we are doing a national phone bank to flip the Senate. We had more voter contacts than literally ever before in the history of Indivisible on a single day, the day after Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away, by people who wanted to flip the Senate. We need more phone bankers. We need to flip the Senate so that we can confirm a justice that can live up to the legacy that Ruth Bader Ginsburg lived up to.